Welcome. I'm Leslie Nips of Convivium Constellations, and I am deep into this video series on the Orders of Love from Family Constellations work as founded by Bert Hellinger. And today is number 3 on the Order of Love with respect to seniority, role, and contribution. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever worked in a place where your coworkers and you were kind of colliding? Someone would do a job and then someone else would do it, and then they'd say, hey, wait a second, that's my job, and there'd be all these kinds of collisions about who does what. Or maybe you and your siblings, unfortunately, have had a conflict over inheritances and maybe even other family members. If you've had these experiences, then you've run into dysfunctions in this order of love with respect to seniority, role, and contribution. Now, this is a really important topic. It's kind of big. And in certain contexts, I have found that the family constellations world has had some confusions about this. And so in order to do the topic some justice, I'm going to do 2 videos on it, not just one. And today I'm going to focus on this aspect of the order of love in families. I'm really going to focus on that. So in families, this is all kind of more straightforward than it can be in some other contexts, which makes it an easy place to start. Seniority is very simply based on who came first. So our parents are senior to us in our family systems. And of course, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, all of our ancestors who came before us are senior to us. And we are senior to our children and to our grandchildren and to any descendants who may follow us. This is true even if someday, and this can be a little hard to get our heads around a little bit, because imagine someday your mother's very sick. It's your job to change her diapers because she's now incontinent and she has dementia. If she's senior to us, am I not supposed to do that? Well, of course we are. I mean, if that's the situation we find ourselves in, of course it is a good thing to do to care for our parents when they're old, when they need help, and if we're able to do that. But there's a way to do it in which we continue to hold our parents, our mother in that situation, as senior to us. So we're helping them, but they're still somehow before us. The reason why this is so important is because life is a one-way flow. Life flows from the ancestors down to our most recent ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, and down to us, and from us down to our children. It's a one-way flow. It does not flow up from our children to us and to the ancestors. This is very important in day-to-day life. It means the obligations in a good way, in a dignified way, are upon the parents, upon the seniors in the system to care for the newer ones, the ones that they've given life to. And it is not the responsibility for the children to try and give life the other way. Hence, if we're in a nursing home with our parents, we may help them because we need to help them, but it's not the same as providing them with their life. It's just a kind of a way we hold it inside of ourselves, inside of our hearts. Now, where this gets very practical and very important is when we have ancestors, and most of us do, who have suffered in some way, who have had extreme trauma, who have had pain, maybe our own parents, been through slavery, or the Holocaust, or some other tragedy, or even when our ancestors, as mine have been perpetrators. Because we come into this world with the resonance of these unresolved traumas in our family systems still kind of in the air, and they're impacting our own parents' relationships with us and how they care for us or the ways they fail to care for us well. And they become part of our history. And so there we are, little children, having a hard time of it perhaps, and we can feel the unresolved issues, the unresolved trauma back there in the past, the slavery where people were not freed, the people who died and were not helped. And something inside of us says, I know, I'll help. I'll take on the depression. I'll take on the trauma. I'll take on the incomprehensible losses. I'll take on the perpetration. And in me, I will make it better somehow. I'll fix it, and then they can have it better, and then I can have it better, because then, my parents will not be the injured folks that they are, and they can parent me better, and it'll be better for me. And so we walk through lives with depressions that baffle us, that we can't really fix, or suicidal thoughts that we can't get a hold of, and a wide variety of other symptoms. And it turns out it's us taking on the unfinished trauma of our ancestors. But by doing this, what we're doing is promoting ourselves in the system. We're making ourselves bigger than our parents and our other ancestors who were not able and could not fix the things that happened to them. We say we can, but of course we can't, by taking on their depression, by taking on whatever it is we've brought onto ourselves unconsciously. Please note, all of this is unconscious. We can't actually fix it. We're smaller than them. What happened to them happened. It cannot be undone by us. Life, nonetheless, did flow from them to us into our own lives. And our job is to bow to their very difficult fates, to honor what happened to them, and to say thank you for the life that, despite all the difficulty, came through to us. Somehow they endured. Somehow they got through, and we are here. When we can make ourselves, or not make, makes the wrong word, when we can rediscover and refine our relative smallness in the system with respect to those who came before, we can let go of something. There can be something that we don't have to carry anymore, and we can give it back to them. Now, I do want to say there's one caveat here that's really, really important. If we had parents or ancestors who were abusive, this is not about putting ourselves back in the situations with those people who were dangerous for us. We may actually need to be separate from them, perhaps literally by not going to Thanksgiving dinner with them, or maybe more just kind of in ourselves if they've passed away, to keep a certain distance from us and the danger that they put them through. Because there's no need to, make ourselves small and put ourselves in the position of people who are dangerous to us. So I'm not saying this. That's really, really important. What I am saying is that fate has made us, that these are our parents, and these are whom we come from. And life came through these people to us. And when we can find our good place in the line, grandparents, parents, us, and then our own children, then we can let something go. We are in a long line of life, and we and our children are the newest, the smallest ones in it. And this is a gift. Please, if you have some thoughts or comments or shares about what you experienced as you were listening to this video, please share it on my blog. I always appreciate it when I hear comments about what you've heard. And then come back in a few days. I'll be posting about the second part of the third order of love on seniority and role and contribution.